Jacques Lantier, a train engineer from the troubled Rougon-Macquart lineage, grapples with inherited madness linked to his family's history of alcoholism. His life revolves around his locomotive listen, forming a bond more profound than those with people. He experiences sudden bouts of rage and confusion, isolating him emotionally. After Listen breaks down in Le Havre, Jacques reconnects with old acquaintances including Roubaud, the assistant station master. Roubaud becomes embroiled in a conflict with Turlet, a wealthy sugar magnate. To mend the situation, Roubaud enlists the help of his wife Séverine, who approaches her godfather, the influential Grandmorin, for assistance. Although Séverine is willing, Roubaud's jealousy grows as he suspects an affair between her and Grandmorin. During a visit to his godmother near Briot, Jacques meets Flore, who has feelings for him. However, Jacques, tormented by his mental instability, pushes her away, fearing he might harm her should their relationship deepen. His internal struggle fuels his feelings of self-loathing and isolation. In Paris, Séverine receives a knife from Grandmorin as a part of his promise to help Roubaud. When Roubaud learns of her meeting, he erupts with jealousy and suspicion, confronting her with accusations of a past affair. This leads to a violent altercation. Following Séverine's confession regarding their former relationship, Roubaud, consumed by anger, devises a murderous plan. He coerces Séverine into writing a note inviting Grandmorin to meet her in a train compartment, intending to kill him during the trip. As Roubaud carries out the plan aboard the train, he murders Grandmorin. Jacques witnesses someone fleeing the scene but chooses not to act, leading to rising tensions around the investigation that ultimately yields no clear answers. Séverine and Jacques' paths cross again, igniting a connection built on shared trauma and unspoken secrets. Despite their burgeoning relationship, Jacques remains haunted by his madness, which stifles his ability to embrace love fully, ultimately leaving him tormented by the possibility of violence lurking beneath his affection. The oppressive weight of hereditary insanity looms over him, threatening to disrupt any attempt at a genuine bond with Séverine. As their relationship intensifies, Séverine reveals her role in Grandmorin's murder, shifting the blame entirely onto Roubaud. She implores Jacques for assistance in escaping her destructive marriage. Jacques, caught between love and psychological turmoil, reluctantly agrees to help her, though his mind is plagued by feverish hallucinations and bouts of violent behavior. Meanwhile, Flore, still infatuated with Jacques, observes the situation with growing desolation. Jacques' fixation on liberating himself and Séverine from their respective burdens deepens as they envision a life together, though the specter of murder looms ominously over them. The guilt and secrecy erode the foundation of their relationship, while Roubaud becomes increasingly paranoid, allowing his life and marriage to unravel. Jacques' mental state deteriorates. He oscillates between dreams of a fresh start with Séverine and thoughts of violence. Flore confronts him about his infidelity, but he harshly dismisses her, pushing her towards a desperate act of revenge. In a pivotal moment, as Jacques prepares for a journey, Flore sabotages the train tracks, resulting in a horrific crash that claims numerous lives. While Jacques survives, he is left mentally shattered and overrun with guilt and rage. Despite Séverine's attempts to soothe him, he succumbs to madness, ultimately unable to discern love from hatred. In a tragic culmination of his inner turmoil, Jacques kills Séverine, driven by the very instincts he sought to control. He then escapes, an emotionally wrecked individual overwhelmed by the legacy of violence that haunts his lineage. With Roubaud now disgraced and fading into insignificance, Flore is discovered dead, having succumbed to her overwhelming guilt. Jacques, having obliterated all he cherished, wanders lost, tormented by the specters of love, violence, and madness. The narrative closes as a grim exploration of hereditary curse, human fragility, and the inescapable chains of the past. In the oppressive heat of Paris, the murder of Mr. Grandmorin reverberates through the train station. Initially, the train was nearly empty and most passengers claim to have seen nothing unusual. Included among them is Lantier, who while present in the corridor fails to notice anything alarming. However, the inspector remains suspicious. Rumors quickly circulate, with many asserting that Grandmorin's demise was deserved. Lantier maintains an air of detachment, exhibiting little concern toward the incident. As the investigation unfolds, it becomes evident that Séverine, married to station master Roubaud and connected to Grandmorin as her godfather, was also on the train, having previously worked in his household. Roubaud and Séverine are more entangled in a murder than they admit. The brutal act, meticulously planned, weighs on Séverine, particularly a letter that could reveal their involvement. Roubaud reassures her that any scandal will silence Grandmorin's secretary. Lantier, having witnessed them, remains silent but later confronts Séverine, hinting at her guilt while professing his feelings for her. Séverine insists it was coincidence and defends her innocence. Around the same time, a man named Cabac is wrongfully arrested for the murder. His connection to a girl named Louisette, who worked for Grandmorin, complicates the situation. Cabac's heartfelt tale reveals no motive, merely his grief, yet authorities pressure him for a confession. Lantier internally doubts Cabac's guilt, choosing to stay silent. Meanwhile, Roubaud's jealousy simmers as he notices Séverine's bond with Lantier, leading him to suspect infidelity, which incites his rage. Despite Roubaud's volatile behavior, Lantier admits his love for Séverine. She, however, responds that her painful past prevents her from returning his affections fully. Nevertheless, she seeks his friendship and support. This emotional exchange deepens their connection, with Lantier sharing his passion for his train listen. Séverine becomes enchanted by his enthusiasm for the locomotive and its bond with nature. As their relationship develops, Roubaud's instability escalates, matched by Séverine's unresolved guilt and trauma. Despite these pressures, Séverine finds herself drawn back to Lantier, murmuring declarations of love. Their precarious relationship balances danger and desire, underscored by the haunting specter of their past actions. Life on the railway continues, yet the looming threats of murder and emotional entanglement jeopardize their futures. In a parallel storyline, a couple quarreling late at night reveals a fractured relationship. The man accuses the woman of theft, a claim she dismisses while reflecting on their lost honesty. He laments her changed demeanor, expressing suspicion about her fidelity and warning her of potential legal troubles for her lover. Their interactions reveal bitterness rooted in their past, including memories of Grandmore and now a troubling connection between them. Despite their strife, the man believes she'll return to him. Severine, in love with Lantier, ultimately confides the truth about the murder. Her husband Robot killed Grandmorin out of jealousy after discovering her past as his mistress and the existence of a ring he gave her. Lantier, disturbed by this revelation, continues to express his love for her despite her complicated history, encapsulating the blend of passion and peril surrounding them all. Blossomed, filled with hope and warmth, contrasting sharply with her current despair. Lantier tries to reassure her, but the weight of her fears and the looming presence of Robot suffocate their dreams. Despite his reassurances, she feels trapped, haunted by the violent shadow of her husband. The memories of their once bright future collide with the grim reality of each day she endures. In the aftermath of the killing, Robot's violent nature becomes even more apparent. His jealousy and anger grow, adding further tension to their already perilous situation. Lantier's internal conflict deepens. He is drawn to her, yet paralyzed by the risks their love involves. With each moment they steal together, the hope of their escape flickers but feels increasingly unattainable. The setting shifts to a dance hall where life appears to continue in a carefree manner, contrasting sharply with the turmoil surrounding those caught in Robot's orbit. Conversations brim with motifs of love and loss, reinforcing the idea that while some pursue freedom and romance, others remain shackled to their fears and obligations. The light-hearted banter around them starkly juxtaposes their muted anguish. As Robot's presence looms inevitable, Lantier's desire to act intensifies, battling against his crippling fear of confrontation. He grapples with his urge to protect her, yet feels dwarfed by the threat Robot poses. The hammer hidden in the smocka box symbolizes his fleeting chance to take action, but cowardice ultimately dominates over courage. Their plan crumbles, trapped in a cycle of inaction and dread. In quiet moments shared during the dance, a flicker of connection revives their mutual affection. She yearns for the early days of their love, wondering where their happiness went. And while Lantier wishes to rekindle their passion, the ongoing specter of violence hampers any chance of freedom. A deep sense of doom envelopes her. She's convinced that escape from Robot's clutches is not just improbable but impossible. The stakes are clear. Her yearning for peace clashes with the suffocating reality of her marriage. Robot's unpredictability poses an ever-present threat. Their attempts to navigate this world fraught with danger ultimately culminate in the realization that without decisive action, both stand on the precipice of tragedy, tangled in the web of love and fear. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.